Internet went down. Funnily enough, I just had a call from my internet provider. I've been having a few problems with my internet, and that's what that quick phone call was from my internet provider. And literally 2 minutes after the call ended, the bloody internet died. It came straight back on, so I don't know what the hell was going on, but it's bloody frustrating. So I ended up phoning him back and having a moan. So fortunately, I wasn't in a trade, thank God. But it is annoying. Part of the reason I changed over to that internet, to the gigabit, is because it was supposed to be way quicker, which in all fairness it is, but more reliable as well. So anyway, overshoot. I did consider taking that one, but I left it in the end. But we've had an overshoot there, and that's caused something this side. So interesting the way that's shot up. So we could come down. It's hard to say. It depends how strong the market is. I know how weird is that, literally. So I phoned the guy back up. Luckily, I phoned him up and got straight to him. And I had a bit of a moan. I said I could have been in a live trade. It could have, could have affected my trading. But now this is interesting. There's a higher low there, which is triggered. EMA's flat. After this overshoot, in a lot of cases, we come down. Now, it depends, obviously, how strong the market is. It doesn't have to, but this could be a place for a trap. But I'm not getting involved because it's also a little bit sideways there. So, yeah, it's just a little bit of uncertainty there, and that's enough to keep me out of any type of trade there. Now, that may be a higher low and it may push up, but in a lot of cases, we've got a small channel. Depends how you draw that. You could have the channel, sort of more like that, in which case we've had a break in a new low, but I don't know, I'm a bit on the fence as to how it is. Yeah, see how it's triggered that one, and it's a little bit of, it's a bit hit and miss. Ryan, how you doing? TDL, good. Yeah, I was streaming live and all of a sudden, boom, everything went dead. Internet went off. So, and funnily enough, I literally just had a call from a guy called Tom from B Fiber, this quick fiber network that I've signed up to. So they're looking into it now, but I have told him, if you've got to make any adjustments, do not do it between these hours. So hopefully they can sort it out, because I was with British Telecom before that, and although they weren't fast, I think my internet's gone off once in the time that I've been streaming, which is probably about 8 months. And I've had problems with this. I missed a day last week, I think it was. And obviously this dropped now, and at night time as well, a lot of the time it's dropping. So anyway, clearly congested there. If you'd had taken that one, it's triggered you, and it's scarily pushing back. It's hard to say. See, a lot of the times with an overshoot, you start working back down, but we've gone down and sideways. So I'm a bit unsure of what to do. If the market's strong, sometimes it just carry on. But I want to take that one there. It may hold, but I'd hate to be in that. There's nothing worse than seeing that and realising actually I'm stuck in a bit of sideways. But you may get away with it, but I wouldn't be certain, because if we've had a break from this, we haven't made a new low. Depends. You may draw that channel, just those 3 bars with a break and a new low, but I've widened it. Not that it looks much better, really. In fact, in all fairness, it's probably safer to do it that way. Mind you, if we've had a new low, you may be inclined now to go long. So what I'm probably going to do is just leave it alone for now. See, when I saw that happen, well, in between my eruption, we had the leg down and leg down. I thought, okay, so we may get an option to go long here, and then everything died sideways. Yeah, you just can't trade in that. Good setups are starting to look a bit like gold dust lately, aren't they? What time is it? Okay, so good for another hour or so anyway. I did want to plan to go a bit of fishing tonight, this evening. sit by a lake for a couple of hours, put my feet up, and then come back and have a few single malts. Yeah, I considered that. In fact, I saw Mac take a lower high from an overshoot after we were coming down. So I am going to start looking at this type of thing when we get an overshoot. If we can get a failure, see how that pushed up strong, triggered above it, and came straight back down. That to me is an indication we've got an overshoot and we're coming back to here. So it would have worked. That one would have worked as well for 2 points. So that's what I mean. Sometimes when you see these things happening, but when I saw Mac take that one, I thought, oh, I might keep an eye out for them. So let's have a look. So it seems we are coming down. So that's a shame. I thought we were going to work on up nice there and give us a set up a bit more downwards and more sideways crap. So, let's see if that works. I'm not trading that, but I'm just thinking about this 50% thing. It's more or less 50% of that move, isn't it? So if any traders take those 50%, that's going to stop them out. That blows that idea, doesn't it? Yeah, look at that. It's retraced 50% on the nail there, look. I don't often use these, but occasionally I've started to. Bullish bar, triggered, stopped straight out. That's why I don't like picking tops or bottoms, these sort of random ones. Look, it stops them out and then rockets up. Oh, dear me. Yeah, see what I mean about that extra tick. Sometimes that extra tick save your neck. If you took that, it took you out by 1 tick and then rocketed up. That's why sometimes I do that extra tick. It depends what sort of situation it is. That's one of them that I would have done, and that would have saved you. And what I like to do is when I put an order, a lot of people put it 1 tick above. Generally, I like to put a limit order and hold it where the bar closes, wait for it to trigger above and then drop it. So that saves me a tick. And then sometimes I stick that tick on the other end. So it's not really cost me anything more if it loses, but it might just save me. And it does from time to time. It did that yesterday on that one. That mistake I took. I got out for it with 2 ticks, but I gave it an extra tick and it came down by that extra tick. And I managed to stay in it. But I don't generally move me stop, but that extra tick sometimes it does save your neck. And I have heard Max saying it before, at least a tick or two, so you know. So we've had that overshoot, and then we've had a couple of legs down now. Are we still going to go higher or not? So what I will say is we've got a leg up, okay? So made one attempt to go lower. If we can make another attempt to go lower, I'll think. But to me, that's a leg up, 2 legs of correction, and I do think we're going to move higher. So that is all bar maybe a tick or 2. Made that measured move. So the way that's pushed up through the EMA, I think it's likely we're going to continue up. But we come back into this range and then just strongly pushed up. So So we got a leg up there, 2 legs of correction. So hopefully we may continue on up. But it'd be nice to see some, maybe a second entry long. We'll see. But so many times now it just doesn't give you, it just pushes straight up. That's frustrating. A couple of legs and then some more would be nice. For some reason, I don't know how to restart a stream that I've been currently using. I had to just start a fresh one. I'm not sure how to go back. It did try to auto-connect once, but it didn't do it again. I'm going to have to look in to see if there's a way that it can auto-connect back to that same stream. But it tried it once or twice, I think. And then that's it. It just ended it. So, which is a bit frustrating. Okay, 2 legs and then some more onwards. Come on, come down. See, with that overshoot, there may be some stops up here. No, the internet went, mate. Internet died off, funnily enough, about 3 minutes after I had a phone call from my internet provider, strangely enough. So, stayed off for a couple of minutes, but I just phoned him back and just let him know, put him in the picture as politely as as politely as I could. So I gave it a few minutes and just started another stream. I thought I might as well. It's Friday. I don't usually start finish for another hour. So, here I am. You missed me, I'm guessing. So I was hoping for a couple of legs and then some more onwards. See, we've had this overshoot. Sometimes the overshoot will bring us back this way. But in all fairness, it looks like a leg and a leg, and I think we're going to continue up. Unfortunately, it's like so many times now, it just doesn't give us a couple of legs back. It just goes a bit sideways and then carries on. Oh, Sam, sorry, I didn't see that close shop. No, the internet just died out, mate. Just went all of a sudden, just died, which is a bit concerning. Luckily, I wasn't in a trade. Can you imagine being in a run and moving your stop up? So I kind of like that I don't have runners at the moment. Just checking there's not a channel down there. I don't think there is. What I didn't want is a break and then a new low. I don't think so. It doesn't work from there. It doesn't work from there. And in all fairness, it's only really 2 touches there. And even if you did have... Oh, shoot. And even if you did have it like that, you could say that this is an overshoot, in which case we go up that way. So I'm not too worried about that. Unfortunately, no setup, just like so many. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. We just don't see. I mean, normally a push up like that, you think you may have a couple of times to go lower from this and then straight up again. Look, it's so frustrating to see, to see no opportunities here. Leg up, 2 legs of correction. Hopefully, if we can get back here and make another leg up, I still expect to get to the top here. So I think it's feasible that we will get a leg there and another leg, which will take us up to the highs of the days. But don't hold your breath that we're going to get an opportunity. Trouble is, you jump in there. I've done it before. Think, oh God, hate not missing it, and all of a sudden it stops you out and then goes right in the direction. That's frustrating. I'm going to go down, but more liquidity on the upper side. It is frustrating. But what can you do? There is some support along here. You can see it here. So maybe we may get something, and then further on. I do like that. A lot of the times we get that a leg up and then we get 2 legs of correction, and that looks like it to me. But look at that. Flipping so annoying. Nothing you can do though. Yeah, I did have a look later, and there was a setup or 2, wasn't there? It is frustrating. Does make you wonder whether you should have a breakthrough at the middle of the day, and I might start noting the areas where there's setups, and if they sort of coincide with a certain time frame, I may sort of target that time frame. Yeah, the trouble is aggressive setups, they do work sometimes, but generally they're not as effective. So it depends whether you're the type of person that is okay with losses. I get a bit funny with losses still. So I'd rather sit and wait for the really good setups, and then you can get them right 8, 9 times out of 10. Whereas the aggressive ones, there may be 6 or 7 times out of 10. I don't know. If you're going for a few more points, it might work. Depends on your strategy. I don't know. I'm just going to move this over a bit just in case we come down here, because it might just get the... Oh, shit. Might just get in the way. Hoping we do something like this, and then I'm still happy that we're pushing up. Leg up, 2 legs of correction, and another leg up. I still expect us to get up to here, maybe even break the high of the day. I'm still thinking that, still hoping that that bullish bar on the daily that was a bullish pin buy yesterday might, whether it pull up, I'm not concerned about. It'd be nice to see it retest the bottoms, and hopefully if we can get up there, that might get us closer to that measured move. Same again, just nothing. Look, it is frustrating that it does this. 2 slightly bars, nowhere near the EMA, and then just rockets off strong. It does make you wonder whether we're going to have to start adjusting our strategy if markets continue to be this tough to trade. Yeah, that's, yeah. Okay, there's that measured move. Love the way it does that. Goes up to it, bounces, comes back, goes up, bounces, and then you get another bar, and you get a couple of bars, don't you, reacting to that line. I love when it does that. Just goes to show how random the markets aren't. Oh, boom. Big red bar there. I'm just wondering whether triangle once, triangle twice, fairly a massive red bar. Maybe people think it's coming back up so far and then coming down some more. Depends, but it did react to that line, didn't it? Boom. Kind of fits, I think. Yeah, no argument there. Touch, touch, touch. Be nice to get a couple of nice legs down here and then a good push up then. I can't see it staying in that thin range channel right the way up to the tops here. Push up, little bit of sideways, push up, little bit of sideways, push up, little bit of sideways. Losing a bit of momentum there. I'd like to see a break here. 2 legs down, maybe a higher low, and then right up here. That's what I expect to see. I might start looking for trades like this if we get, next time we get an overshoot. Lower high, failure. Second entry long there, so failure would have been quite nice there. You'd have got more than your points just before you got down to here. Yeah, that daily is starting to look more and more bullish now. So if we can get up to the top here, that'll take it up another 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 points. So which will take us 5 points shy of that 44. So maybe by the end of the day, we may end up looking a bit bullish again. I don't know. If you draw the channel tight there and breaking a new high, well, I know what you're saying. You could do that. But I still don't expect it to. I don't know. Sometimes if you draw it like, I mean, you're only literally talking a fraction, aren't you? And if you squeeze it together, you know what I mean? It depends. These tighter ones, sometimes I do squeeze because, you know, Max, sometimes a little break, he'll go, I'm not convinced it is. So, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Maybe, let's put that properly. Let's leave that like that. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. Well, that's certainly a break. Argument. Okay, let's say that's a break and a new high then, yeah. Yeah, okay, I'll go with that. Yeah, I mean, I actually do say that quite a bit. Sometimes it's worth erring on the side of the caution and assuming it's had a break and a new high. Be nice, actually. I still expect it to get higher because of this measured leg. Now, that might be a nice... You know, I did say I'm looking for a couple of legs down and then some more. If we can get down here and then have a leg, another leg up here, that would take us where that daily is, right up to retest the bottom of that measured move. So we've still got quite a ways to go up here. So it would be nice to get some points. Now that one is reacting off there, but to be fair, it's too far from the EMA for me. So... not just that, by the time that finishes, you've got a point if you're lucky. I think it's risky. Yeah, I still think we're going higher, so I'm not too concerned with a new high. But I think that second entry long might be a trap. It might be a leg and another leg. It might work, but I'm not a fan of those. You've barely got a point to the tops. And we're far from the EMA, so... Yeah, I mean, there's a point there. You've got to push through it, so you're not even going to get a point there. And I think that bullish bar will get stopped out. It may not, but I think it will. It is a second entry long, but it's... I'd much prefer to come a bit closer to the EMA. It's an 11 bar, so you've got to tick above it, tick below. It's 3.25 points. 2 contracts. I don't want to risk $325 per account. That's $1,200. No. If it gets above that bearish bar, then I think it might be okay. But it's, I don't know, it's hit and miss here, I think. Leg, come on. Yeah, I mean, technically it's a second entry, but for me it's only really a leg. So the only time I'd take something like that is if it dropped right below the EMA and had a massive stem on it with a big bullish bar sitting on top. Then I may consider that, but touch. risky going long there. It may hold, but I have an inkling that it may come down a bit lower than that. If it does continue to go sideways and stays in here, you may get away with that, but Rapid Rob, how did you recognise the break of your big uptrend was not a down channel? What this? Are you on about the break here? Is that what you mean? How did you recognise the break of your big up channel? Okay, the break of it was not a down channel. You mean here? I did try and draw it. Is that what you mean? Yeah. Well, I tried to draw it from here, and that just doesn't look right to me. And even if it is, it's an overshoot, so you'd expect it to go up. And then I tried it from here, and it still didn't look right. If you draw it from here and bring that up to there, it kind of fits. It's an overshoot, so I don't know, sometimes you can just look, and not only that, it looked like two legs. I mean, I wasn't 100% sure it was, but when it pushed up and did this and continued up, that's why I got rid of it. But that's what I mean. Sometimes with these overshoots, you can just get one the other side and then it continuing up. It depends how strong the buyers are, really. But in a lot of cases, we do. It does send it back in the other direction. So I don't know. It's just, I suppose after a while, you just get used to looking if it looks right or doesn't look right. But I don't know. Even if it was from there to there, there's a bit of an overshoot anyway. So I don't know. I don't know, Brunt. We see this pattern all the time. That's large trend and then overshoot, smaller correction. Yeah. I mean, if the market's strong, you know, it might not necessarily come down. I mean, truth is, you never really know. You know. We are also looking for a new high of the big up channel. This one here. Well, you don't always get one if you get an overshoot. Sometimes you'll get an overshoot and it genuinely will send it in the next direction. So with that overshoot, now, it's only a small overshoot, but if you look here, it fits. Fits there nice, fits there nice. So, in fact, I looked at trading there because I saw Mac trade an overshoot the other day. We were in a nice channel. We had a little break and he took a lower high here. So, you don't always get a new high when you have an overshoot, because so many times it does send it in another direction. But the trouble is, we're in a range, so we just might be. I don't know. The truth is, you never really know. You know, it's sort of getting used to how the markets move, and then it just hopefully then you try and take a trade in the right direction. That's where I suppose long-term experience comes into it. But if you look at these things enough, stuff will just start to, sometimes I don't always put a little channel. You can just sort of eyeball it. But, on a larger time frame or tick chart, there is not an overshoot. There's probably not going to be, though, because you're not going to notice it on a larger time frame. But obviously, we trade the 2000 tick chart, and we know Mac talks about overshoots. In most cases, overshoots will push it out the other side, not necessarily in the opposite direction, but that little overshoot there, you could see that straight away. So my thoughts were we were going to come out the other side, and we did. And in most cases, it'll do that. But the more you see it, I want to start thinking about trading it, because Mac, I did look at that one, but it's so hard to take a trade there when you're looking at all this coming up. So I left it, and it actually worked really nice. And maybe even the lower high. If you're expecting an overshoot and you're taking a short E, you're at least going to come back to here, and that's plenty of room. But I'm just trying to eyeball them for now and say, I'll make a little note at the end of the day. We had an overshoot. I could have took a trade. And if you see that enough, you'll inevitably start to think about, if you see a nice bar after an overshoot, you might go short in the other direction or long, whatever the case is. UK, you recognise quickly, much faster than I did. But just curious. Yeah, to be fair, it doesn't look like a great trade. It just looks a bit messy, doesn't it? But I did try and bar it from there to there and from there to there. But even if we went from there to there, this was an overshoot, so then you would expect it. But when you look at them, I mean, see, I don't know about you guys. I trade it full time. I'm lucky at the moment because I'm able to do it. Not that I'm earning a full time wage out of it, but when you sit looking at it for 4.5 hours every single day, you can eyeball it a lot of the time just by having a glance at it if it doesn't look right. So what's going on here? See, it's weird how we've had this channel here, look, and it pushes up and it bounces right off there. So it just goes to show, doesn't it, how these markets aren't random. They really do sort of fit the mold, don't they? I agree about the overshoot of the 6,000 chart. Yeah, you wouldn't notice it if you're on a I don't know, 10,000 tick chart. You probably wouldn't notice it. In fact, let's try on the 10,000 tick chart. Let's have a look. Have a look. You may have done. It's gone from the bottom, haven't we? It's hard to say, actually. Yeah, it's just a bit confusing now, though, that is. Let's have a look. Let's bring it over and show you. So there's the it's quite hard here, really. I suppose we're going from here, aren't we? We touched here, touch here. You could say yeah, but then that's gone. It's not very clear. It's still not very clear. You may have done, but that would have sent it this way. So no, no is the answer. It doesn't really make much sense, does it? That's the 10,000 tick chart. Yeah, so no. I mean, it's a small move, isn't it? What is it? It's a point, barely a point from there to there. But I do hear Max say sometimes I'm not convinced it is. But I think the way it touched there a few times and the way it touched that, I think it's best to assume it has, because if you assume it has, you might not get a trade here because you may have taken that trade there, see? Which triggered and stopped you straight out. You may have taken that one, depending on how it looked. You're thinking one leg, two leg. I looked at it, but I was aware of the overshoot, but then it triggered you and stopped you out. So I think if you see an overshoot, just, if you've got your thing like this, and even if you think it goes over by a bit, just be careful what you're doing here. And then, but you learn by making these mistakes. That's why it's kind of okay to make mistakes. And it's how you learn. And you learn better by making mistakes. I used to get trapped all the time, and it used to frustrate the hell out of me. Now I look for an opportunity that the market's trying to trap me, and that helps me make better decisions. So it's how you learn. It really is, like Max says, just screen time. The more time you sit here in front of the screens, the more you trade. You can't help but get better. I was hoping for a good signal buy. Yeah. I hate when that happens. There, wasn't it? Was it there? Yeah. So overshoot, push up, break new high, a little bit of sideways drop. Yes. So I'm just wondering whether we are going to end up having something like this. It's possible. It's just too early to say at the moment, really. So really, once that's broken like that, it's really sort of doesn't matter, I suppose, that. So push up, break new high. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm unsure whether we're going up and coming down. I think it's more likely we're going to go up because of the measured leg and obviously the top of the channel, but there's no guarantees. Just thinking if there's no, it's come too far out to hook up with any type of channel there, because that'll be your first swing. I mean, it's possible at some point. It is possible. But what I do like is we've got a leg, 2 legs of correction, and so many times we get another leg. Now, just because it's coming down doesn't mean anything. I mean, look at this. We did exactly the same there. We pushed up exactly sideways and we came right back down. What happened? Pushed up again, did it again. So the fact that that's pushing down, you know, is not changing my thoughts about still going higher. But it may be nice to get a higher low above here and then push up. But, you know, we're almost doing identical compared to that. Pushed up, a little bit of sideways, drop quickly. A little bit of sideways, push back up again. So we've done the same. Pushed up, sideways, drop quickly, a little bit of sideways. I'm still thinking up. There's clearly some support right where that right where the price is now. Right sat there, right there. You can see it there, you can see it there. So if it bounces there and pushes up, right where it is now. But you never know, it could just drop sometimes when it's choppy like this. It does things unpredictable. Normally you predict that to push up 2 legs and it's a push up to here, but sometimes when it is choppy, it doesn't generally follow, you know, the normal pattern. Found resistance at dead center. Yeah, you can see it right where that is now, can't you? I'm looking left at the moment, right there. You can see it there, you can see it there, you can see it there, here. Bunch of places there, so no argument there. So I do start to put some of these support and resistance line because they can stop you from taking a stupid trade sometimes. But you can clearly see it. There's no arguing there. Let's, yeah. I mean, that's probably as good as support where the market's bounced as happened all day, really. But after the overshoot, the way we had 2 legs and then pushed up strongly, I fully expect it to come up again. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we finish right up here somewhere. That would push that daily bar back right into the range, right into the above that measured move. So I expect to finish somewhere up here. Just based on what I'm seeing, that looks like a leg, 2 legs of correction. These work so much of the time, but not always. 43.68. That's where you're thinking, are you? So you're thinking down here. 43.68. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. Kids bugging me. What's for tea, Dad? So you're thinking 43.68. I'm going to put a line down here for you, because aren't you going to look stupid if it doesn't work then? But if it does, exponential. Yeah. Okay, that's where you expect it to go. It might do the way that's coming down. Overshooting in failed breakout. Did you know? Okay, ET. That's your line. I'll send you a bottle of single malt if it hits that line. If it doesn't, you send me one. I'm just seeing if there's a couple of legs down there. Touch, touch. Don't know. Okay, so really strong that was. I think it's come too far to have a bigger channel there. Unless it goes like that. But I'm a bit unsure about that at the moment, so. Okay, short-term trend channel break, new low, bullish bar, push up. So this is, you can see that that support is becoming resistance now, isn't it? It's bouncing. So if it can get above it and bounce off it, then I expect it to come up a bit. So we've had this little drop out at the bottom and a bullish. So that might hold and get us back in here. If it's going to go higher, I think that'll be the bar it does it off. But if it's not, then it doesn't really matter. That's all one leg to me. That one there. You mean in the channel? You mean like that? Actually, it could be, actually. That doesn't look terrible, actually. No, in all fairness, I tend to go with a... That's me laughing at you, actually. It looked all right. I tend to go with the smaller stuff first. I think it's safer. But yeah, sometimes it does that. Comes and bounces and it works. It may. It's hard to say, really. So I think if there's a short there, try go once, try go twice, I think that's going to push up and take that stop out and then continue on up. That's my prediction. Take it or leave it. So whether we've had a break here or this channel slightly wider and we've had a break here, either way, but I can see this pushing up, and if it gets above here, there may be some shorts there. Then I think we'll continue. I still think it's going to push up at the moment. We haven't quite hit this highs. We haven't hit this measured leg. I like this leg with 2 legs of correction. So it may be a case of a failure up here somewhere. You're a bear still, are you? Yeah, it's giving us mixed signals here, isn't it? So it could do either. But the bit that got me interested is that really strong push up and sideways. And it has dropped, but it's gone sideways. So I still think it's it's more likely to go up, but not by a huge margin. See, 1 minute it looks like it's going up, next minute it looks like it's going down, so it's a bit hard to... It's just another one of these areas that gives us all the time where we just don't bloody know what's going on. I've never had this many days without trades. Nothing yesterday, apart from that little lucky 2-tick one. I didn't even mark that yesterday because that was just a pure bit of luck. Sometimes when you make a mistake, you get lucky. Other times you get crucified. So, but yeah, nothing today so far. Was it day before yesterday? I had one. I can't remember now. I've only had I had a loss. I think I'm about break even at the moment this week. I don't think I made anything, which is better than not making, but it has been a particularly tough week. I would think too much support down low to go low. But what do I know? Yeah, you and me both, mate. It is giving us mixed feelings at the moment. 1 minute it looks like it's starting to push down, next minute it's starting to push up. What time is it? 5:30 UK time. So I'm going to give it another 30 minutes, 30, 45 minutes. We'll see. I don't think there's any type of a larger channel working there. I mean, there may be a bit of a spike in channel. It's possible. There and there. Yeah, it's just too hard to tell. If it carries on doing this in this area for the rest of the day, then I'd say yeah, but it's just too early, really, to put that. But, I mean, we were thinking bearish at one point, weren't we? But I think the table's changed at the moment. 6 ticks. Mine, I usually go for around about 2 points. But what I do usually, if I take a short here, I won't put my order 1 tick below there. I'll hover it over the close and wait for it to trigger, then drop it. So theoretically, if you go for 1 tick below there, I only really go for 7 ticks. So we got a leg and a leg. You think that's wrong, do you? So how would you have it? Aren't you? Who said that yesterday? It's possible, but I think sometimes it's safer to keep things tight. Who said yesterday my channel was wrong? Mac had it the same. Mac did, but then Mac said later, actually, he had my channel, and he went, actually, I think that looks better. So that's my point. That was my point yesterday. I thought the channel looked much better, and Mac admitted in the end, he said he thinks it looks better. So I think sometimes I tend to like to assume on something small like this, we've had a break in a new low, tends to make me think not about going long again. But obviously, with the way this is going, which I've drawn that channel, but I don't know. That's what I mean. Trading's it's not black and white. So it does look like we're starting to work down again. Second entry long. It's still congested there, so no, there's no second entry long there. There's a first entry. That's the only sort of really second entry long, and obviously the bar's naff. I'm not even convinced that's right at the moment. So you could call that first entry and that a failure. I wouldn't be surprised if someone took it. But for me, it's just congested, so it's risky. It did work for a couple of points. It's definitely reacting to that support there. So 1, 2, you could call that a triple test actually. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm a bit on the fence here. It's just so many traps around. In all fairness, it's just going sideways. So it might work and it might not work. Oh. Something I don't like about it. It's sideways, so I think it. Well, look at it. It's a tick and a 2 off breaking that high. I'm not a fan of what I'm seeing here. Skinny teeth. It has triggered. I hope it works for some of you, but the fact that it's gone up 1 tick off it, I think it's risky personally. I'm just not a fan of what I'm seeing here. We've had this, we've had a breaker, we've had a new low. I think we're going up. I'm not convinced we're coming down yet. And if you took that one, you're about to get stopped out. There we go. So that's a higher low. Trouble is, it's right at the top. So I don't really want to go high, but it's a shame that really. That's sometimes why I give an extra tick. And if you'd have put an extra tick there, you'd have got out now. Somewhere earlier as well, I did the same thing. Where did I? Took a trade where I gave an extra tick. I mentioned an extra tick. Can't remember where it was. But see what I mean? A lot of times it'll do that. It'll take your stop out and then come straight back down. That's why in these areas like that, I give an extra tick. I mean, granted, it was a triple test, but I much prefer that body further up there, really. And it is so frustrating there. It takes you out for 1 tick and then comes down for 2 points. Look. So that's why I like giving extra tick, because a lot of times it works. So, okay, so you'd have got a 1.5 out of that comfortably. Maybe 1.25, 1.5, depends, but sometimes that extra tick. On times like this, a lot of the times the market will tick you out and then go in the same direction. And it frustrates the shit out of me, that does. And I've heard Matt talk about it before. And if you look at some of his earlier videos, he give it more than 1 tick. So I think 1 tick, because if the market's going to trap you, it'll usually do it for a tick and then go off in a direction. If it goes any more than a tick, I'd say it's usually going in the opposite direction, so stay out of it. But you know, if you've lost, I mean, if you're a tick below that and a tick below, what's the bar? 79 and 2. So no way, that's not a point. 79, so 3/4. It's a 1.5. That's small actually. 0.5. So tick above, tick below. So 2 points. So if you trade 2 contracts, you've lost $200. If you'd have given an extra tick, you'd have been $350 better off than you are now, taking into consideration your loss as well. So that's why I think it's an extra tick. That's why I dropped my order actually on the close, not 1 tick below. So I save myself a tick on most trades unless they shoot off without me. And that 1 extra tick I like to put up here, and in some cases it saves you. That's like triple test, all about context. Yeah, I mean, we've come down, and for that, if that was right up here, then it may have interested me, but I still think we're pushing up personally. We've had this overshoot. It had 2 legs down. It didn't come straight down, and then it pushed up strong, went sideways. So for me, 1 leg, 2 leg, I still don't think we finished pushing up. And I might be wrong, but for me, we've had this and we've had a couple of legs. Wherever you have this, slightly wider or whatever, it doesn't matter. I tend to, on something like this, those, you got 4 bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars fitting nice in there. I go for those. After sort of this, but it doesn't matter. Whatever you do it, we've had a break, whether it's here or here, and we've had a new low, so that's played out. So that overshoot didn't shoot off in the other direction. And after 2 legs, we pushed up really strongly. So for me, I don't think we've finished going up yet. According to range rules, you should be right, UK. What with this one? Yeah, I get sometimes I widen them a touch, but if you're going to go for that one and say this is, it doesn't look, it's still not there, is it? So you will be there and there, yeah. It don't look right to me. It looks a bit messy. Whereas if you have it as a short-term trend channel, it just looks much neater to me. I don't know. Perhaps it's just me. I don't know. But I don't begrudge anybody. You have to do it how you feel it's right. But that to me, sometimes if you close them up like that, it fits better. And that fits lovely to me. And there's a break in a new low. We have pushed up. And then we pushed a bit lower. It's hard to say, but in all fairness, it's choppy as shit at the moment, so it's so hard to work out exactly what's going on. But you have to do how you feel. Like yesterday, that was it. I think it was iHesse guy said the big channel was wrong. He said we've had a break in it. He went Max done it. Now I tried it that way, but it didn't look right, so I put it back. And then if you watch Max's video, he said you could play it this way and that way. He said, I'm going to put it back because that's how I had it. But then at the end of the video, he said, actually, that probably works better the way I had it. So that's what I mean. You can interpret these in so many different ways. And that's why you have to do it how you feel. You can't listen to someone else if you don't think it's right. Now, someone else, it said to me that I had it like this, didn't I? Yeah. And someone said, it looks like we had a break. And I moved it. And yeah, I agree. So I'll leave it there. But if I don't agree with it and I don't think it's right, then I won't leave it just because someone else has told me to. Do you know what I mean? It's a suggestion. If I think the suggestion's right, in that case, I think they're right. So I left it. You know what I mean? Do you per your second? Yeah. That was me about that channel. Oh yeah. Well, that's what I mean. I think it's a valid thing, and as I've done it, yeah, I agree. But with yesterday, iHesse went on and on about that channel, and he went, "Well, Matt's got it. Look at his video." So Matt had it, but then he said in the end, the way I had it, he said he thinks that worked better. So you have to do what you feel's right. But you know, I welcome suggestions because I took that one on board, didn't I? I didn't say no, I had it that way, so I'm leaving it. The more I looked at it, and I'm thinking, yeah, it does look better, actually, a break in a new high. So I welcome suggestions, but some people just, and not very few, but some people just go on and on and on and on, and they're arguing with, yeah, but this, yeah, but that, yeah, but this. You know, you have to do it how you feels right. And if you see the way I've got my channels and you don't think yours looks right, then don't do it. Stick to your guns. It's the only way you learn. I don't know what is going on here. But it is the only way you learn. You have to do what you think looks right. But obviously, you know, you listen to other people because, you know, because obviously everyone's at different level. If someone's been trading 5 years, they're going to know a lot more than you if you've been trading 2 years. So, you know, I always listen to every bit of advice. Some I take, some I don't. But I only take them if I think that they've got a point and they're right. But I do welcome suggestions because if it helps me, then I'm happy about it. What time is it? Okay, let's give it another 30 minutes, see how we get on. I was going to go fishing, but it looks a bit murky out there. It was supposed to be quite nice tonight. Just sitting by a nice lake. This is choppy price action though, isn't it really? After this, I thought maybe a couple of legs and then moving on up here, but it's scrappily moving up. It is moving up nonetheless. So we've gone up a bit of sideways, but sort of a leg and a leg, a little bit bigger leg there, but it's not. It's messy. I hate it when they do all these that way, you know. But I think it's likely we're going to break these highs tonight, personally. I keep looking to see if there's anything larger there, but there isn't at the moment, really. It is possible, but so there's nothing to trade there. It's just congested and ugly. There's nothing there. There was a failure there, but it's congested to me, and I still have this upward think. So Although you would have got a couple of points out of it, but I'm not a fan of it. High or low there. Bar's no good. Congested. Still struggling to get above this line, so you can't take that. Now we've pushed above it. If we can maybe get a second entry, I do think we're continuing up. There we go. Just came back to ask someone, have any of you used the most recent NinjaTrader release? The trend channels still dance move throughout the day when volatility. I'm not sure about that. Are you on about these small channels that move now and again when something pops out of them? Because I think what these do are to do with max. If that's what you mean, you know, sometimes when it pops out, these channels will move a bit by themselves. If that's what you mean, all this is max stuff and including that. So if that's what you mean, still too risky to take that. It's too far from the EMA. Yeah, we're still slowly teetering up, aren't we? So yeah, that's getting us to more or less the same place as that larger leg is, just in a bit of a frustratingly awkward bloody way, which is typical of market lately. It just doesn't give you options and it messes you around. But, you know, we have a reasonable idea of where it's going. But it is going to have to get through that lot. Okay, call that a failure, high, low, whatever. Way too risky to go long there. It might strongly push out, but it's just at the top of the channel, so nothing you can do, really. Wondering if the latest release has stopped. I thought that was to do with Max, because they're Max Tools Bar, but I'm not 100% sure, actually. I'm not sure what we do about new releases of it in NinjaTrader if you're with Apex, because obviously, I don't know, I seem to recall, was it Apex saying about, this was maybe a year ago, don't take the update of NinjaTrader yet because it doesn't work with something, or I can't remember what it was. Whether it was something to do with their tray copy. It was about a year ago, I think. So I tend to, before I get any type of an update, I tend to just ask the question, am I all right to take this? You know. But I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so that failure there is triggered. Not a great one, really. Not in a great place towards this top of this channel, and just a bit up here out of the way. But it may work, but nothing I can take. Failures are better, really, when they're trapping in the other direction, but that's a bit too far away there. Yeah, it might be, mate. I don't really know about that, to be honest with you, but I know those tools come from Mac, so I'm assuming the software that dictates how they work is something to do. So whether he sort of has that design to when something pops out, but I wish it'd stay where it is, because I know sometimes it moves and I put it back and it'll move again, and I like to leave them where they are. So I don't know whether he's meant it that way or whether there's a glitch in the programming. I don't really know. And yours jump as well, do they? Okay, so maybe it's nothing to do with that. Well, I'm assuming if they jump after these many years, I suppose they're designed to do that for whatever reason they deem necessary, I suppose. Yeah. If you ever get anything that says update NinjaTrader and you're with Apex, check with Apex first, because I know Apex are. I've heard them say it before quite a while back. Don't take it. I think we did in the end. I can't remember. But yeah, any types of updates where you have, I don't know whether it's something to do with Rhythmic or possibly their trade copy. I don't really know, in all honesty. But what I will say is if you haven't got a trade copy and you are in the market for one, don't get the Apex's one. Get the Replicanto one. You do get updates, and Replicanto are a software company. They design software. Apex aren't. And I had it for a few months, and it gave me nightmares. I never get problems with the Replicanto one, and it's cheaper at the moment as well. There's a 20% off thing, so it's 130, and Apex is 150, I think. So, but trust me, it's better. Okay, what's going on here? Are we having a leg and a leg and then something else? Yeah, so if you took that bar there, it triggered you for a couple of ticks, and now it's coming down. Whether it'll hold or not, I don't know, but it's just too high to take that, really. Same again, nothing there. You're on the highs. May go up, but you just can't take it. It's a big bar. Tick below, that's over 3 points. It ain't finished yet. Like I mentioned, you've got to get above this lot as well, so that's going to cause a little bit of area where it may struggle for a time. Quad top coming. Now it may smash through it, but who knows? I still expect that measured move to get hit. Trouble is, if you take that, it could come down, stop you out, and then go up. Pretty much got a fair idea it's going up, but I've tried to cheat every different scenario to try and get things to work, and they just don't. You just have to wait for a setup. In fact, about 3 or 4 months ago, we were going up in quite a nice trend channel. And I remember Max saying, you know, you can more or less take every bullish bar that comes back to the EMA. And I remember talking about it, and I go, okay, here's a bullish bar, let's take one here. And I took it, and it triggered and came, within 2 seconds, it triggered, it came straight back down, stopped me out. So Mac's theory about you could almost take any bullish bar that comes back to the EMA, it's not that accurate. So I really have. You see the market going up and you try and jump in, and it's got a way of just throttling you. It really has. So I just learned slowly, but tough lesson that you just can't try and cheat the market. You have to wait for it to give you a valid setup and take it. Now, as a relatively inexperienced trader like me, 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, you'll get it right. But it's still plenty enough time to make money. But the bit that's going to be difficult for you is the frustration when you lose the trades. You have to try and get used to it. Now, I feel it when I take a loss. I don't like the feeling. I feel pretty naff. But I don't jump straight back into another trade that I used to do, because I have realised over time that, yeah, I'm going to lose the odd one and it's going to be frustrating. But overall, I've proved to myself on a number of occasions now, if I play by the rules, I am good enough to make money. Now, I'm not going to make the tens of thousands that I plan to yet. It may take me 6 months. It may take me 2 more years. But I'm in a place where I'm feeling comfortable now that I believe in my skills are good enough, because I think so many times you doubt you've got the skills and you try and take stupid gambles to give yourself a quick boost and a head start. If I can get up to $1,500, I can be really careful, but it doesn't work. You'll get away with it once or twice. I've tried so many times just taking stupid gambles with 5 and 10 contracts, just trying to give me a boost. And the reason is because I've lacked my own ability to be able to get there myself. But I've slowly come to realise that it takes time. It's not as quick as you think it is. You know, we all hear these stories about making, $10,000, $20,000 a month, and you can make it. And if you persist, you will. That's what I believe. But it's not. It takes time to slowly get used to it and to slowly build. But once you start to build and you start to realise and you believe in yourself, actually, I don't need luck. I'm getting here on my own merit. That's when you'll start to grow and your confidence level start to grow along with your skill level. And that's when you'll start to slowly flourish. But it just takes time. Makes sense. Absolutely. Oh, crikey. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. The trouble is with Mac, he says you can, if you took every bullish bar here in a trend, but trust me, the time you do it, market turns around and shits on you. Honest. So I've given up now. I've given up. I'm 90% of trader fail, lack of knowledge, emotional decision, poor management. Absolutely. And the ability to just knuckle down and keep trying, because I'm a massive believer in the reason they fail is because they give up, not necessarily because they're not capable of doing it. Because you have to go through a horrible journey of getting shat on and losing your money and getting frustrated and angry and blowing up accounts. And not everyone is able to go through that punishment. And it does feel like punishment at times. Feels like the world's out to get you. Feels like you're throwing away all your money and you're going to look stupid, and it's horrible. A Million with Apex said, use the sniper system. I don't know much about it. My honest opinion, it doesn't matter what type of strategy you use. If you trade it the right way, the way it should be traded, and you take your time, there's not such thing as a strategy that gets you to make money like that. The strategy is the easy bit. Applying it to the context of the market is the real tough bit, as well as the the only downside to that, and in all honesty, why they do it, I don't know. But if you want to learn the sniper system, you get it free for a month. The second month costs you $1, and then you pay $250 every single month. And I remember getting into a conversation with Darryl Martin once on Facebook, and I went, "You'd be $250 a month." He went, "Well, why wouldn't you want to pay it? You're going to make the money." I went, "But not as a new trader, you're not. If I start trading for the first time, learning the sniper system, I'm not going to make money in 2 months. It could take me a couple of years at least. And in that time, it's costing me $3,000 a year. And Mac charges you half that price per year. So that's the downside. I think they should say it's free to use. We'll train you to do it. And then you use, at the time, then you pay $250 a month when you start making money with Apex. But charging $250 for new traders to learn, not everyone's got that sort of money to spend. And they start you off risking ticks, 21 ticks to AK. Yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad system, and I won't say that because I've never tried it, and it may be a great system. But for me, $250 a month when I'm learning to trade isn't sustainable. It's too much, in my opinion. If it was $50, $25 a month, then I may pay it and give it a go. But it's just the way you said to me, well, why would you not want to pay it? You're making money. Well, you're not. You're not going to learn a new strategy and start making money straight away. Looks like a bigger range. Yeah, maybe. I'll see where this comes down to. But so touch. Could be there because there's 3 times. Let's have a look. Could be there. 1, 2, 3. Touches 3. I don't know. Let's leave it there for a mo. See what happens here. Push up. Made 2 attempts to go lower. Let's have a push up. 2 attempts to go lower. That might be the option up. Possibly down, up and down. There is a pattern, isn't there, when we push up and we go like a W pattern, up, down, up, and then up again. I don't know. Okay, so what I will say is that looks like a channel. Hoping that's a break and a new low. Yeah, I'm good with that. Channel break, new low. Let's see if we get a nice bullish bar now. Oh. Vince, yeah. Mind you, he called himself. Do I take that one? I actually...
Order submitted.
Don't mind that. Let's have a look. See how it finishes. Am I breaking my rule about picking tops? No, I ain't taking it. Do I take it? Do I take it? 1, 2, 3, 4. No.
Order
I
canceled.
don't like it now anyway. See, I don't know. We've had this overshoot. It didn't come straight down like a lot of times. It pushed up strongly. We've gone 1 bounce, 2 bounces, and then I think we may go up. Push up. We tried to go lower once, tried to go lower twice, and then I think we're going to push up. Just from what I'm seeing. But I could be completely wrong, but... After the overshoot there, we had 2 legs down. We didn't reverse back in the other direction. We just had a couple of legs. And you could have even said that is just a break. And then we pushed up strongly. A little bit of sideways. We've come down once. That's once to me. And we've come down twice. So we've made 2 attempts to go lower. So I think we're now going to push up and hit these levels, these 2 levels up here. So that was the bar I was looking at. It was a bit naff anyway. So we've had the channel down with a break and a new low. Yeah, it is sitting in quite a nice area there, but I'm not getting involved. I'm not a fan, as you know, of picking tops and bottoms. I'd much rather stay away from them. It's something I am trying to learn and get a bit more confident doing, but at the moment, I'm just quite happy. I'd rather go home on 0 for the day than take a stupid trade in the last half an hour. Quad top of yeah, someone mentioned quad top. I'm not sure what they mean. I'm assuming it touches it 4 times, does it? But yeah, see, I think we're still pushing higher. For me, we're still going up. Strong up, couple of legs down, up again. For me, we're up. And if you look, all right, it's probably a bit early, but I don't know. Let's have a look. No, that one maybe. Maybe there may be something like that. It kind of works. Well, actually, it pretty much works, doesn't it? So we touched here, touched here, touched here. Maybe, but for me, we're working up still. And we are having moments of coming down, of course. But for me, the mood is upwards. No, I could be wrong, but I think we're going up. We had this overshoot. In a lot of cases, overshoot will result in a reversal. That, to me, is not really necessarily a reversal. You may call it there, but it's just 2 legs down. And then we push up like a rocket. A little bit of sideways. We come down once. We go up. We come down a second time. I think now that's where we go. And I have promised Exponential a bottle of single malt if we get down here, so I can't even consider coming down towards that. But no, I think we're going up. After it didn't come down, we pushed up like a rocket. These are my targets up here. There's a leg up there, but a lot of the times we'll do this. We'll go once, twice, and then we'll pivot upwards. And if you look at the 10,000 tick chart, it kind of looks like a second entry long, doesn't it? Leg down, and then off. Maybe. Leg, off we go. This is my target. The first one possibly, but more likely the second one. Excuse me, just 2 minutes. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay, let's see what's going on. So it's a bit annoying that is. We got the open, yesterday's open, and this big lump of congestion right there, and it's just, let me zoom in a bit because it's annoying me a bit, all this lot of Okay, so let's see what's going on here. The possible leg and a leg. Let's see what happens. Okay, I think I'm going to trade on for another 30 minutes. Just give me 2 minutes. I'm just going to get a cold drink and I'll be back. Okay, excuse me, I've just got a bar to eat. I'm flipping starving. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. What is going on here? Could be a trip bottom. Could do. It's just so hard to read when it's like this. I still don't think we finished going up, but I might be wrong. Might have a break out the bottom and a push up. Who knows? I'm just trying to think if there's something. No, it's hard. Overshoot, 2 legs back, push up, break new high, bit of sideways, a couple of legs down. There's no And we still seem to be sort of whittling up. I mean, we're going a bit sideways. This may be a bit... It's hard to say. It could just drop. I really don't know. Could just be a failed breakout. I don't know what's going on at the moment. It's so hard to judge. So what time is it now? Let's go for about another half hour. Trouble is, if you get no trades, what do you do? Got to put a few extra hours in. Going long, are you? It could be a failure, but it's just too far from there for me. In fact, who said they were going long? You're going long, Ryan. Okay. So Ryan stops below there. So everybody put their sell order below there. We'll take, depending on how big Ryan's contracts are, we may ride Ryan's contracts down, but I don't know. Oh, that's moving by itself, or is it me seeing things? I can't see how many people will have gone long there. It's not your normal place to go long, really. There's nothing there. That one's a bit pie in the sky, isn't it? So, I mean, we've clearly broken out the bottom, but it doesn't mean we're going to go down. But if we're going to come down like this, I'd expect to get a bit higher before we come down. So I don't know. I mean, if it does push up, was it Ryan, was it? Yeah, if it does push up, I wouldn't hang on too long before you take your profits. Because we could be moving down. It's hard to say, really. It's so hard to judge. 1 minute you think it's, after that, strong push up like that, slice straight through the EMA, all of a sudden triggered, come straight back down. So it's, I don't know. You done, are you, Sam? See you next Monday, mate. See you on Monday. Have a great weekend, buddy. Yeah, this is a bit naff looking, isn't it? We all bought, mate. Yeah, we push it up, but half of us are on evaluation, so it does make a damn bit of difference. Even the ones of us on PAs, we're still not really, we're still only really on valuation, so I don't think it'll make a difference what we do. But that's looking positive for you, so I wouldn't hang around before you get out. That's what I mean. I wouldn't hang around. I'd have probably been quite happy to get my money back there, but leg down, try go once, try go twice, triggered. It's choppy though, isn't it? I would. No, I don't know at the moment. The trouble is sometimes it just, it pushes up, triggers you, pushes down nice and strong like that, then triggers you. It's too far from the EMA. It's a bit unclear what's going on here, so there's no trade there. You could still trade it as a failed breakout, maybe. Try 3 attempts to go lower, push above there. I don't know, but I'm not trading it. Absolutely too choppy. 1 minute it looks like this, 1 minute it looks like that. It's just clearly congested and there's just no trade. Nothing you can do. It really could go either way. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, trouble is you get so many traps when it's like this, don't you? Long trap, short trap. Okay, it's starting to look like it's more likely to go down, I think, now. Okay, I think we'll have a relatively strong drop now. Certainly to that measured leg, I think. Well, I wonder what. I'll probably get an email early hours of the morning. I wonder what offer we'll have by tomorrow. You got stopped out. Yeah, I thought you might do, mate. That's what I always said when it went back here, and I'll be inclined to get out of it. Not looking bullish. No, you're right, mate. Grab a coffee and join in. Why not? What time is it? Yeah, I might go up to 7 o'clock. Might as well. Not doing nothing else tonight. I don't find it as tiring, as stressful as I used to. Normally 3 hours I'd be buggered, but not anymore. And obviously if there's not many trades, sometimes you just got to put a few extra hours in. That's all you can do. No point in doing 2 hours a day and never getting the trade. Okay, measured move, midline coming up. How often do the markets step in? And all they are. How often do the markets step in? And are there always the reason for traps? I don't fully understand it. I mean, you hear rumours that from what I understand, is markets run by algorithms. It's almost like a program way of making money, isn't it? So many things are traded with them. I know lots of companies use them, and I believe they look for weak areas. So I don't know, traps. I don't know. I don't quite know, to be honest with you. Yeah, it certainly does a bit, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. I mean, we've all sort of read the books and that. People talking about the psychology and, asking the question that markets are not out to get you and all this sort of thing. Well, I actually disagree. I think they are. They're out to exploit weak traders, in all honesty, I think. Anytime, pal. Anytime. Just hit VWAP. So, let's get rid of these for the time being. Let's clean this chart up. That's made. I think your mark's just been it there, so well done, bud. Your bottle is on the way. I'll just send it care of the United States. Hopefully you'll get it. Okay, so let's have a look. There you go. I'll give you that, mate. Well done. Well done. Good on you. So now what's going on? Let's see if there's any type of channel there. touch. So that's the nearest sort of swing, isn't it? Okay, so that's not too bad. So where are we likely to go now? There's a little bit of support here, but we're past that, so I think we're okay. Excuse me. There is some liquidity down here, isn't there? 67. So if we can get a break out of here, might be inclined to go short. Let's just check I've not missed anything. Well, that kind of looks okay as well, doesn't it? Let's have a look. Come from the top, there's the first swing. Oh, it fits nice at the back end as well, doesn't it? You have the wider one. Yeah, I mean, normally you go from the top to that first swing. That's clearly the first swing, isn't it? So, and it kind of fits okay as well with touches here. Fits nice at the back end as well, so I'm good with that. So, I prefer a slightly wider one. Get a couple of legs up to here. Hopefully that EML will come a bit closer. It would be nice to get something. Let's just see if there's any sort of support here. There is a little bit. God, I hate that. Touched a few times here, touched here, touched here. It doesn't mean it won't come down and retest it. Second entry short off here would still be nice. It would be nice to get a trade. We've been here for a fair few hours now, 4 hours. It's a shame not to get anything, but even so, sometimes you're at your most vulnerable when you come into the end because you're thinking, you know, I want to get, but I'm quite happy going away on zero, purely and simply because there's nothing that's really stuck out to me as a really good trade. Excuse me. There's been some sort of maybe that one. But I don't tend to take a lot of those reversals, but I noticed Mac took one the other day, so maybe it's an option for me to start looking at. I mean, we all have this vocabulary of trades, you know, trading the opposite direction off an overshoot, triple tests, picking tops and bottoms, you know, second entry shorts, failures, lower highs. There's all that sort of thing, and that's pushed off really strong there. That's what I mean. It's unpredictable at times. It does things you don't expect. But it's clearly found some support there, and in fact that support goes right the way through that to about here. You can see it, can't you? What about further over? It's definitely there. Look, it's there, here. So it's clearly playing a role, that. So Mac generally doesn't put them, but I've started to because I think they can maybe help you make some better decisions sometime. Let's leave it there. It's clearly played a role, and the way that came down and just took off straight from there, you can't deny that. Touch, 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 right the way along. Here, there, right the way along. So it is a bit frustrating. You think, okay, we're starting to get into a nice channel. We've come off these highs, if you like. And then all of a sudden you get down, we think, there we go, second entry off here, and it just rockets straight up. It's so annoying. I mean, why would you buy there? Probably because of this, I don't know. You got your 2 points, did you? Yeah. Okay, so it's bouncing off the bottom now, so... Trouble is, it's not even really confirmed this, although it fits nice. Normally it would confirm a third time. You can't really say that is. But it doesn't mean it can't have a break and then come down and make it a low. It doesn't. But judging by what I can see there, it looks like a bull flag with a little bit of sideways at an angle. I can see it pushing up. As I said, I still don't think we're finished with these highs yet. It does look like it's going to turn into a bull flag. Now, there'll be a time where I would have just jumped into a trade, but I don't do anymore because it just didn't work. You have to just follow the rules. Sideways and a push, maybe. Took only 2 points. Trouble is, mate, you don't know it's going to go anymore. See, so I think sometimes if you get 2 points on a trade, I think you've done all right. I think that's it's a good amount to take off a trade. That is, because you don't know, and that's just simply it. You never quite know what a trade's going to do. You know, if it's a good setup in a good position, we're in a strong trend, then you've got a better idea that you may get a bit more, but. You know, sometimes lately when it's been a bit choppy like this, I've gone for 2 points and it stung me. I could have got 1.5 points off it. So I think you've got to, you know, weigh things up. If things are really choppy like this, where they're not necessarily moving in a direction for long periods of time before they turn, sometimes you're better off taking a bit less. But at the moment, we are getting some pushes and certainly enough to get your points. But you know, it's cleaned up a little bit. We're still getting a few areas of choppy, but it is moving. But it's still hard. False the EMA. Yeah, EMA acts like a magnet, doesn't it? It always comes back to it. So you know where it's going to come to, but the tricky part is judging it where it's going to go from there on, whether it's going to go above it or below it. So this is the tricky one. Do you go long here or what? It's a big ass bar. It ain't finished yet. I mean, look, 15 ticks. 16, 17. You lose a trade like that, that's going to end up close to 20 bloody bars by the time we got a tick above it. It's just too much, that is. 17 tick above, 18, 19. I mean, it's looking positive. It's giving me the indication, but you just don't know. When markets are like this, you do not want to get stuck with a bar like that. That's one tick off 5 points. You're trading 2 contracts. You've lost 500 with your fees. It's too much, that is. Especially when it's choppy like this. Because it could trigger that and come down. I don't think it will, but... I think if you're going to take that part, you've got to let it come back and take it on the limit order. It could come rocketing down. Okay, second entry short triggered. Now, Certain entry short. I'm just not a fan of it. I'm just not sure about that. If I'm not sure, I just don't know. We've had this thing and we've had a couple of legs up. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the way it's finishing for a start anyway. So you like to think if it's going to push up here. I just can't see many shorts in that trade because markets sort of obviously it's coming between these sort of areas. And if we are, we're right in the middle of it. So it could just go either way. And we're clearly ranging, there's no argument there, but we are bouncing off this, there's a big support level there, so but I don't know. I just don't like what the market's doing here. It looks like it's may go a bit sideways. I mean, it may close above that bar and rock it up, but I don't. I'm uncertain of what's going on here at the moment. 1 minute you think it's going up, next minute you think it's coming down. Comes out of this. I thought it was going up, then all of a sudden it rockets down. Well, it comes down, and then within 2 bars we've like jumped 8 points. So I don't know what's going on. If you drop your range down, midline fits perfect. Where did I have it? It's a big ass. I don't know. Is the answer. I mean, we're bouncing off there anyway, so I'm happy to say that line is the bottom anyway. But even if I bring that up to where that was, no, next one. If I bring that up to where did I have it? Was it about here? Yeah, it's about here. It's reacting to that line anyway, which more or less is the middle, isn't it? But I'm not convinced. I don't know what's going on at the moment. It's just so unclear, isn't it? So 1 minute, we get a lower high, we're going to come back down here. It's just so hard, isn't it? It's so hard to make a decision because it's bouncing where you wouldn't necessarily expect. I mean, we've been up the top, we went to come down, we didn't, we went sideways, we hit the top again, came straight down the bottom, pushed up really strongly, going sideways, you think we may push up again, and now it may come down the bottom. It's just, it's erratic really, isn't it? Yeah, it's OPEX, third Friday of the month. I'm not sure what that is, buddy. Might have to explain there. Very choppy as everyone. Options. Oh, I see what you mean here. Well, okay. So I wonder if that's got anything. Has that got anything to do with the way it's been, or is it just today? You on about just today? Well, I'm assuming options will spiral on a day, won't they? Because, in all fairness, it's been like this for a couple of weeks, isn't it? 3 weeks, maybe. It's been awkward. I don't know if it's been any more tougher today than just today. I don't know if it's been any more tougher today than it was yesterday, the day before. I had nothing then. But yeah, it's acting a bit erratically, I suppose. It's not so much just choppy. It is acting erratically. So, okay, so we pushed up strongly, tried to go higher, couldn't, drop down below the EMA, so I don't know, we're going to have a leg and a leg. I'd be uncomfortable about taking a lower high there because I just don't know is the answer. I don't know whether we're going to and then push up. I got no idea whether we're going to come back and bounce off the bottom or push straight up. Not a clue. Because it's acting erratically. We hit the top a bunch of times. You think, okay, we're not going higher, we're coming down. We come down sideways and have another go. And then we come down in a few waves, bounce off the bottom, nice and strong, have another push up, and you think, okay, we're going up. And then all of a sudden, it's tipping down. It's just not making any sense. And you've got to be so careful trading when it's doing that, because there's no option. There's nowhere to trade, really. But, you know, I'm just happy I'm sitting here patiently and waiting. There's nothing you can do. If there's no trades, there's no trades. You can't move markets. You can't perform miracles. You just have to sit and wait, and that's it. That's part of the bit that you struggle to get, really, sometimes. But the trouble is, there could be, I don't know, it could be a leg and a leg. It probably is. But what do I know? Sometimes markets I think are really predictable, and other times I just think, I don't know what the hell's going on. You know, not a lot of the measured moves are you know, we got a leg down here and a leg, didn't play out a proper measured move. Leg up here, you think there's going to be another leg here, didn't work. A lot of the measured moves aren't playing out as accurately as they normally do. And obviously by the measured moves, how they work, you know, predicts a lot about where markets are going and where we understand them to be taking trades. We have two legs down and we think higher low here, we think we're going up another leg, so you take a trade there, but it's unpredictable. See, 1 minute you think it's coming down, next minute it looks like it's going up, so I've got no idea what's going on. Not a Scooby-Doo. What is your one and only strategy? Key entry points, second entry longs, lower highs. It's a bit of everything, in all honesty. I think your bread and butter trades are your second entries. So if we're coming down here, one leg, two legs up, nicely to the MA. I mean, that's a second entry short from there. Leg up, leg and leg. But the trouble is, it's not. It's in a bit of a rocky ass place, but I think they're the trades generally you sort of learn first of all, don't you? Failure is a little bit more complicated. Lower highs aren't too bad, but a lot of people will class that as a lower high. But Mac will say when we get a little bit of a pullback here, it's gone too far to be a lower high. But everyone has their judgment of how far's too far. See this one here? I would class that, if it was a lower high. This I wouldn't, although it is lower. So that's the thing with trading. There's so many grey areas. You know, the way people draw their channels, that's the bit that takes time to learn, and you have to find your own way of doing things. So there we go. So trading time, you done, are you? You take it easy, pal. Have a great weekend if you're going now. I'll be finishing shortly, maybe another 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Would be nice to get something, but I'm not forcing anything. It is what it is. Oh. See, 1 minute it looks like we're going up, and then a bar will close bearish, it looks like we're coming down. So I don't bloody know. Leg up. A lot of these measured legs aren't playing out properly. So Okay, let's talk about this option. We've got a leg down, made 2 attempts to go higher. Okay, that would be the type of trade that the penguin guy looks at. It. We got a leg down, made 2 attempts to go higher. So if you end up getting a really bearish bar here, maybe interested in lower high. Possibility. Let's say hypothetically, leg up. Yeah. Let's see what happens. Make 2 attempts to go higher. Failure, come back down. And then I put up here, you might be right. I was hoping we may get a higher low there. It's just the same as so many times now, it just doesn't give you an entry. I still think we're going to hit that measured move. Nice to get a couple of legs. I don't think for a second we will, but yeah, we have. That's why I thought that leg down and then maybe a couple of attempts to go higher. See, normally when we have the 2 legs, I like the first one to be there and the second one to be not quite as high. And then sort of let's give up. Yeah, but I think we naturally do adapt our own way to a degree. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just a natural thing. You know, whatever we're taught in life, whether it's a job or a career, whatever it is, we all naturally adapt our own slight way of doing things, no matter what it is. So I don't think it's a bad thing. As you sit and study these markets day by day, you'll pick up your own styles of trade, your own types of trade that you see work again and again. There's more than one ways to skin a cat, isn't there? So there's all sorts of ways, and you'll notice them. A lot of the times I mention we get a leg up, bit of sideways at an angle, and then another leg up. That's something I may look into trading it, at some point. But yeah, we all find our own way of doing things. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's a natural thing to do. Is it really? Yeah, it does a bit, doesn't it? Looks like an actual cross, doesn't it? A religious cross. Yeah, it's hard to know that. I mean, that's giving mixed signals, really, isn't it? I don't think we're finished with the up stuff, in all honesty, because we've pushed up, we've had 2 legs down, and we've just done this a bit. So I still think we're going to finish a bit higher than this for the days, personally. But it's just my sort of rough guesstimate based on the sort of the overall day, really. But maybe 70-40. We're going to 70-30. We're going to end up here. I don't bloody know. What do I know? What do I know? One of your best setups. Well, mate, it actually really doesn't matter as long as it works. If it works, take it. It really doesn't matter. If it works, take it. So I'm still a bit unsure of what's going on here. We haven't made that measured leg, but so many today we haven't. So bouncing again off this support, we hit it there, came back down. We came down there, bounced a few times off it and pushed above it. So I don't know whether we're going to come down from it or push up. I'd like to see this measured move, and if we can get to this level here, then I expect to push higher. But yeah, if it works, use it. If you're trading 1-to-1 and it works any more than 60% of the time, use it. Like I mentioned, I see this trade a lot of times where we get a sharp few bars like that and 4 or 5 bars at a slight angle. It almost always pushes up and does a mirror image. So at some point, I'm going to start thinking, okay, maybe when I see that, I drop down to 1 contract and trade it, or I just drop to 1 account and trade it or something. But it's something that will, I think you naturally just grow as a trader the longer you've been doing it. That's why it's so difficult, because there is so many angles. It really is. It's a real art, is trading. I took that pullback. Yes, in all fairness, there's nothing I could take there which isn't sort of risky. You know about that pullback there? Or here? What's going for? But if you take that and it works 8 times out of 10, you'd be daft not to. Some people, if you do something other than Pats, you almost get the Pats police. You get crucified. But I do believe in Max, so that's my bread and butter. But you have to go with, if you're learning and growing, you'd be stupid. And I genuinely believe that's why Mac doesn't show us his trades. Because I think a lot of the times he takes trades against the rules. And that's okay, because he's been a trader for 25 years and he knows these markets inside out and back to front. And I think that's why he doesn't mark them. I would recommend any strategy test for a whole month if you have considered profit. If you have constant profit within that whole month, stick with it. Yeah, in all fairness, I'd say strategies take a lot longer than a month. Well, this strategy, I've been doing this strategy now for over 2 years and I'm still learning it. And I think that's why a lot of people move from strategy to strategy, because they expect things to work too quick. Now, learning the strategy is generally the easiest part. Applying it to the correct context of the market is by far the most difficult thing, along with, as we know, the psychological side. But context is everything. The strategy is generally, I would say, 20%, and I would say probably 40%, maybe 60% is applying it to the correct context, and maybe 20% psychology. Now, a lot of people say psychology is everything, and yeah, maybe it is, but putting psychology aside, and just, the difference between learning the strategy and applying it to the context, it's 2018 in my opinion. It's 80% the context of the market. That's putting aside the psychological side. That's another battle that everyone fights. But context is everything. You can pick a second entry within a 10 seconds of looking at a chart, but if it's not in the correct context of the market, it's useless. And in my opinion, the best way to learn this is just to sit here day by day and put as many hours as you can in. And like any job, the more you do it, the better you get at it. Even though it goes against Pat's rules, I've read that one. Yeah, absolutely. If it works, it doesn't matter. I tell you now, my honest opinion, Mac doesn't show us because he trades away from his own rules, and that's perfectly fine because he's been using them rules for 25 years, so he will naturally adapt his own way. That's the only way I can fathom that he won't show us his trades, because there would be no other way. Let's see what's going on here. What time is it? Coming up 7 o'clock. All right. May end up being one of those days today. A bit early yet, but I thought if we can get a second entry long or maybe a higher low, I'd like to see this measured move, but we have bounced off that. But as long as something forms here nice, or maybe a higher low, I'm still all right with it. Study his daily review in his manual. Oh, in his book. What I do is I get my chart up later and I compare it to Mac's, and I compare it to Marco's, and I compare it. There's Jope and other guys on there. I compare it to his. And I have a look, the trades I missed, the trades I should have done. But when you're looking at your trade all day long, you pretty much know the trades that you missed, the trades you shouldn't have taken, But when you're studying it constantly, you're looking over and over and over it, you are studying it. We got a leg up here with 2 legs of correction. You're studying it. But, if you lose a trade, you'll pretty much know quickly why you lost that trade. So next time you try and be better. So I don't think you need to study them too much. Just staring at them for 4 or 5 hours a day, I think, is enough. But I do compare mine to a couple of other traders just to see how I had my chart, just to see if they've picked anything up and what trades they took. How do I feel about them? Because, Marco will take some trades that I wouldn't have, and Mac will take some trades that I wouldn't have because we've all got our certain levels and standards. But look at that. See, I thought we may get a hidden second entry long here. I still think we're pushing up, but there's no setup there at all. It took a trade there straight away. If I look to take a trade straight away, I think if it loses, what do people say? I post my chart. Why did that lose? I can work that out myself now. I've been trading long enough to know why that trade wouldn't work, because it's a first entry and it's not at the same level as that. And there's no real setup. So that's what I tend to do. I think if I posted this and said it was a losing trade, why did it lose? So if we can get a higher low here, then maybe. But if we're calling this a channel and we're coming to the top of the channel, we're losing momentum here. And we've got this big lump of support here, so it may struggle to get above there. So I don't. Trading's tough at times, it really is. It's way harder than ever I thought it would be. And let's face it, any job that you can earn 20,000 a month and it's not going to be easy, is it? Otherwise, every bloody man and his dog would be doing it. Just not a fan of going long into that lot. There is, excuse me, liquidity up here, 34. So I expect it to push up, but unfortunately, it's not giving us any type of entries. Doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. Absolutely. Oh. That's second short failure. Right. Okay. That's tempting, but you're going along into that, so you just can't do it. It's too far from the MA. It may trap you. I think if it gets above here, it may push up, but I think it's risky personally. I did put a trend a while ago, but I'm not massively convinced just yet. I'm not a fan where that is. It's right into the tops here. Risky, I think. You might think differently, but you can clearly see there's a lot of resistance there, and lots of times it's hitting these resistance and coming down, and so I'm just not getting involved. Hit it there, drop. As much as I want to take a trade, I just don't want to lose one now, just from lack of patience. 2 1/4, tick above, tick below. It's 2 3/4 point risk. Not prepared to risk it. Too far from the EMA for me. It is. There's a lot of support, resistance there. It might work, but I'm not taking it. Okay, work for 0.5. You'd have got 0.5 off it. great. No, I said I'm not taking it. I mean, I go for 2 points. I may have gone for less if I'd have gone to that measured move. But the trouble is with that, if that triggered and stopped you, and I put a message and say, why did it fail? I get about 20 messages saying, because you went straight into that lot of resistance there. There's no room to the highs, and there isn't. If you'd have put a tick above there, you're on the highs. It's not to say it's not going to work, but you can't take it. Excuse me. In my opinion, you can't take it. So if you go, let's say here, you'd have got a 1.5, that's it. You wouldn't have got 1 point because it would have pushed through. I'm not to say it's not going to go higher, but there is not a lot of room to the measured move. It could trigger you and come back. It's too far from the EMA, so in my opinion, it's risky. It is a second entry long, but there's no room. You have to have room to the highs, and there isn't. You said it was going up here. Well, I actually think it's going to go up to the tops here. I just didn't say I think it was going to finish, but I still think we're going to top out by the end of the day, because we from here, from literally market open, we've been going upwards, and yeah, I thought we might push down there, but we had a couple of legs and we put strong a little bit flicking around. I mean, this is unpredictable as shit. You couldn't have guessed this if you tried, but we've bounced a couple of times off here, so I think we're going to top off here, maybe a bit higher at the end of the day. I still think we're going to have a measured leg, but from here to here and then here, but I might be wrong. It's just my general thought on the day. A lot of the times we do get back up to our highs of the day, but look at that. See, no one can tell me that these measured moves don't play a part, but look at that. It's closed right bang on it and dropped like a stone. So they really make a difference. Now that trade did work, but so many times it won't. We've clearly found strong support over there. We hit it twice there and dropped. It's feasible. We could do it there. It just depends. Yeah, I'll agree with you there, Brant. It's been diabolical. It really has. There really has been. I can't quite put my finger on exactly why. Now, you hear rumours about traders taking holidays. Now, well, that's granted. This time of year, it's the holiday season, isn't it? People are off, aren't they? So it's probably part of it. But I don't really know. I don't know why else. But the trouble is with us, we don't work for these big city banks who know all the ins and outs. We're retail traders. We're just, guys just trading from home. You know what I mean? So we just have to sort of, figure out bits that we hear. But I have heard lots of people saying that institutional guys are taking the holidays, and that makes sense if they are. There's less funds going in and out, but yeah, it is tough lately. But I don't think it'll last forever. It didn't seem long. I was looking at some of what I will say is at the end of every day, if you don't do it, just right click and save your charts. I've been saving mine for 2 years now. Now and again, I'll go back and I'll see second entry short, lower high, failure. 3 trades in a trend like that. But nowadays, it's just, So if I'd have took that, not with my normal 2 points, that would have stopped me out. Now, in all fairness, if I had have took that, I'd have got out a tick or two before the so I'd have got a point. But to take a point, it's just not worth the risk for me there. That's 1.25, tick above, tick below, 0.75. It's not worth the risk for a point, because it's clearly, for one, it's sideways. For two, there's a shed load of support there. You can clearly see that. Look at that. See, we're going sideways there. So this congestion there, there's no room to the highs. And obviously that support has been there right from the get-go. Over here, you can see it right as early as here. And every time we've used it there, we've used it there. We've used it there. You can clearly see it working there. And the fact that it's pushed above it quickly and then dropped. So it's unpredictable today. I found it hard to work out. I think I'm all right at reading the market. Sometimes I get it pretty well. But today it's done more or less the complete opposite of what I thought at times. I thought we might have a little pullback here, and then off we go. And that hasn't happened. The reason I was thinking that is because when we had the overshoot, a lot of the times we'll then come working back down, but we had two legs and then rocketed up. That went up, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. It went up 18 points, pretty quickly. And then back down here again. So it's been unpredictable for me. I found it a bit tough. In fact, I'm going to knock it on the head now. It's nice to get a trade if you can, but the important thing is having the patience to sit here. And we've been here now for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. Well, I've been here 5 hours now, and I haven't taken a trade purely and simply because, as far as I'm concerned, there hasn't been a good setup. There was something around here. You may have taken that one. In all fairness, I don't like it because it's too far from the trend channel for me, so I'm not a massive fan. If it was a smaller bar, I may have taken it, but what was the risk on that? So it's a 3.25 point bar, tick below. It's nearly 4 points. I'm risking $400 per account. That's $1,600 I'm risking on that bar. As far as I'm concerned, it's not good enough because that's just really one leg. And I know people say fade in that, but I'd want to fade it down here. It's already nearly halfway in. So for me, but that's the only one that people may take that I can think of. There may be some others. Sometimes other people put them up, and I think actually it doesn't look too bad, but there's nothing there, see? In fact, that one as well, if I'd have had my chart like that, my trend channel like that, I think I'd have probably taken that one. There is a few bars that sometimes look a bit sketchy, but after we've had the break and another break, and then we get that big bar, you may have taken that as a higher low, which also I think was okay. But then with the failure, trapping that one, I think that was okay. So that's the only one I think I'd have taken today. Unfortunately, I had my channel slightly different and I didn't notice the break. Otherwise, I would have taken it. But apart from that, there's nothing that's really got me interested in a trade. And I don't think I've been extra strict. I genuinely don't think there's a lot of trades around at the moment. And from we chat with other traders, I'm not the only one. Well, Brant's just mentioned it's probably the worst week he's seen for a while, and I agree. It seems to get tougher every week, but there's nothing you can do. But I'm just glad I'm not losing money, so that's a bonus as well. So at the end of the day, if you can get 2 trades a week, that's $400. That's $1,600 in a month. You times that by 10 accounts, that's $16,000 in a month. You only need to take some of that out, and you've got a nice wage. And it's not going to be like this forever. It is tough lately. There's no doubt about it. There's a lot of institutional guys on their holidays and they're not trading. So that's probably got a lot to do with it. But there's probably a bunch of other reasons. The current economic climate. I don't really know about all that sort of stuff. But who knows? There is a break of that maybe channel, which looks like it's pushing up. Thought we might get a higher low, but same again, nothing. So I'm not pushing me luck. I'm quite happy. If I go away on 0 for the day, I have a relaxing evening and a good weekend. If I took a stupid trade now, I'd feel gutted and annoyed with myself. So you can't sit here for 5 hours and then take something stupid. It's a big no-no, and it's taken me a long time to figure that out. So, excuse me. There we go, folks. Another week's done. Not a great deal. I think I'm at break even this week, which is all right. I'm okay with it. At the end of the day, if I do my job, sit here patiently and not do anything stupid, as far as I'm concerned, I'm pleased with my performance for the week. A pat system with all those bars went up and down. In fact, do you know what I may start doing? When it's like this, if there's less volume, I may start opening the 1,000 tick chart on a screen above. and having a look at that, because I know sometimes if I've traded on an evaluation earlier in the morning and the volume's low, I'll change to a 1,000 tick chart. So what I'll suggest to you, if you're bored over the weekend, open up your chart, change it to a 1,000 tick chart, and just go through it and see if there's any setups. And if there is, it might be an option. Who knows? You know. So I've waffled on enough today. Better than red, absolutely, absolutely. This could sit. It could do. I haven't got a clue, to be honest with it. It could go up, it could go down. I've got no bloody idea really. Might not be a channel. It might be. In fact, it may be a spike in a channel. Let's put that like that. That might fit okay. Yeah, it's possible. But look at that, straight down and then straight up. You can't trade it. So however it is, you might get a higher low there. It's too far from me, and I don't like what I'm seeing here. It's choppy, it's sideways, it's going to stitch you up. So that is me done for the day. No trades, but I'm okay with that. I've done my job, and that's it for the week. Another week. I'm going to have a relaxing weekend because I know I haven't screwed up by doing something stupid. I did take a trade which is a bit questionable yesterday, but fortunately, already exists. Fortunately, what I done there? Fortunately, I got out of it a bit lucky. Oh bollocks! What's gone on here? That's unusual. My things. That's the first time I've ever known that to freeze. I moved something and clicked the clear button. Anyway, I'll just shut it down. I'm all done and dusted. So, I appreciate all your comments. It's not been a bad day. We had that little bit of an interruption when my system died because of the internet. But hopefully, we won't get one of those again. So, have a great weekend. Stay safe, and I'll be here again on Monday. But do what I said. If you're bored over the weekend, change it to open up your chart from this today or whatever day. Change it to 1,000 tick and just mark it up and have a browse. See if you see any setups. It might be a better option. By cutting it down by half, you'll get twice as many bars. So a lot of the times when you get these push-ups, we don't get a setup, but there may be one on the 1,000 tick. So it might be an option to try and open up opportunities. So I'm going to do it myself a bit and mark it up and just see if there's any options. So, and I might even, if I do find some results, I may even post them on the Facebook group. And but if there's not enough volume, if you open up 1,000, that should give you twice as much volume. So I don't know. Anyway, I'll leave you to it. So appreciate all the comments. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, and I'll be back on Monday, and hopefully we'll have a better week. So take it easy.